Ryan Beauchamp in charge of the action. Robin Combs in the blue trunks out of the blue corner. The shorts for Kris Pomerleau as she comes out of the red corner, the black shorts. And we are underway. And Combs throws the first shot. That one deflected by Pomerleau. It looks like Pomerleau is going to have a big reach advantage.
Yeah, and a smile on her face. I don't know many who go into a fight smiling, but good for Kris. I was just, wow, big shot there. Nice left hook, and it's got Robin Combs backing up.
Well, again, in her first fight, Robin Combs did not face much in the way of opposition, especially striking from her opponent. But tonight seems to be different as a couple rights and lefts have already made their way through. Although Combs has landed a couple of her own, but it seems to be that the reach advantage playing into it early here in favor of Kris Pomerleau.
No, absolutely. The thing that we need to watch for Kris Pomerleau is as she's snapping out one hand, she's punching with the other before the other hand retreats to return to her chin. So when she's punching in bunches, those hands aren't coming back, and if Robin Combs can time that, she's going to be able to counterpunch. But I'm sure her corner's going to notice that and hopefully make an adjustment before the next round.
Minute 50 to go, three-minute rounds. A big right hand there from Pomerleau.
Do you see her head snap back?
That I did, and you could hear the crowd behind us appreciating what Pomerleau was able to do with that right hand.
And still smiling, so Pomerleau stalking forward, perhaps maybe a little bit of an intimidation thing, saying, I'm enjoying punching you in the face.
Trying to get her up to the cage, another knee thrown, the clinch also very effective for Pomerleau so far. No quitting Combs though. Caught the punch and moves up against the cage. You can hear knee being called for by the fans, but not necessarily her coaches.
Well, fans know MMA too.
That they do.
Especially here in Calgary.
There's a bit of a break, a bit of a mouse under the eye, probably from that right hand on the face of Robin Combs. One side of her face seems to have taken a bit more damage than the other.
See, and at this point, you look at Kris Pomerleau being smart here. She's not necessarily pushing for the action. She's got to know that she's won the round at this point, just with the much more effective striking and cage control. So no need to necessarily push and put yourself in a bad position for a counterpuncher, because again, you look at Robin Combs, has a good solid build and probably able to put a pretty good shot in there if she catches her. Good leg check.
Kick. A bunch of punches making it through there after the leg kick got checked, and just under 10 seconds remaining here in round number one, and Robin Combs was in trouble. That is the end of the first round, and Kris Pomerleau gives one for the fans on her way over to let her know that let them know that she appreciates their support.
Yeah, we're gonna look at the replay here of some of the action. Those are leg kicks, and there's that left hand followed by a right and then another left. There's multiple big shots there. But again, the one thing I'm concerned, and this is nitpicking at this point, but Kris Pomerleau's hands are right down by her chest and not up by her chin. And that's something that Orestes Bertrand, who's in the corner there, is definitely going to be talking about, keeping those hands up. It only takes one punch in MMA, one shot right on the off button, and you want to be able to make sure that your hands are interrupting that.
Well, you wouldn't have a DVD full of the UFC's greatest comebacks if you couldn't just knock somebody out with a single punch. And you're right, Kris Pomerleau's got to be aware of that. Also, I thought she had a little in the punches in the flurry that we saw a moment ago, and we'll just take a look at this replay here. But it looks as though as she's stalking her, she's almost not got that killer instinct yet. When she had her up against the cage and had her in trouble, she didn't swarm and try and finish. And when Robin turned and kind of effectively ran away from her, Kris just kind of waited for the round to finish. When that last 10 seconds is coming, you got to try and, at any point you have to try and finish the fight. A little more aggressiveness, but again, making her amateur debut. So again, maybe nitpicking at this point as we get set for round number two. So Robin Combs in the blue trunks, out of the blue corner, out of the red corner. In the black and white trunks is Kris Pomerleau. And again, a big smile on the face of Pomerleau as she approaches. Although she took a right hand for her trouble, smile not going anywhere.
Some people just enjoy punching, and she's enjoying it right now. 3 or 4 big shots there, all hooks landing, and I can understand why Robin Combs might be backing up at this point.
Again, a big reach advantage for Kris Pomerleau, and she's putting it to good use. Going forward, working the jab, and then, like you said, those hooks have been landing throughout this fight.
Well, and a little bit of red leg there by Kris Pomerleau, because a couple nice leg kicks landed by Robin Combs, and they haven't been checked. They haven't even been acknowledged at this point. So maybe that's a strategy as Robin Combs can put forward and maybe attack that front leg, take away that power base for those shots.
Another right hand got through over the guard of Robin Combs, and her face is starting to get a little chewed up.
Well, it's almost a scowl now, less than a smile. Maybe she wants to finish her off at this point, but
and Robin Combs will have something to say with it. Some of her counter punches getting through, but it does look like she's taking the brunt of the damage. Looks like a standing guillotine attempt there by Pomerleau, but that didn't get through. Big knee to the midsection.
1 minute, 18 seconds remaining on our feature clock of this, the second round in our second fight here at the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship, number 23 already. Wow, Ryan.
Yeah, and not going to slow down anytime soon, with 24 and 25 happening in the next 3 weeks. So Kris Pomerleau again stalking Robin Combs, has landed the better of the strikes this round. Another right hand snaps back the head of Robin Combs, who's proving to have a very durable chin, Jeremy.
Yeah, she's holding on really tight. I'm surprised that she hasn't taken a knee just to be able to get away from this onslaught, but right in our face now, and still trying to defend. Some big shots there, and now just grabbing on is Kris Pomerleau.
Robin Combs has eaten
showing
a significant number of punches, and she is still game. The smile not quite as wide on the face as Kris Pomerleau, as she maybe thought that was going to be the end of the fight there.
Well, and credit to Brian Beauchamp for not stopping it. In an amateur fight, a referee is again wanting to protect the athlete. 10 seconds remain in the round now. But Robin Combs still defending, and look at her good solid position, still hands by her chin. So far she's lost these first 2 rounds, or at least in our opinion, but wow, she's really sticking in there to this.
Well, and it looks as she's going to get to a 3rd round, and anything can happen. Like we said a moment ago, Robin Combs in tough, but in this fight, Kris Pomerleau, though, likely the winner of the first 2 rounds. I can't imagine a judge scoring it any differently, but I've said that before and been completely wrong. And as we take a look at the replay here, again, more of Kris Pomerleau just stalking Robin Combs and landing punches.
Yeah, you watch her continue forward. A nice right there that kind of hit on the ear there, and just punch after punch. It's like she has no off button at this point. Both fighters have no off button. Robin doesn't have one on her chin, and Kris Pomerleau doesn't have one on her fists.
Now, so far, so good for Kris Pomerleau, but Robin Combs looking good in her corner. And again, the stand versus sit down mentality, as Pomerleau standing to show she's fresh, whereas Combs taking the rest. And that mental aspect plays heavily as you get into even the pro fights, Jeremy.
Yeah, you look at every gym is a little bit different and has their own philosophy on what they want to do. I know that a lot of the Brazilian gyms prefer the standing up because a lot of their fights, unofficial fights, don't happen in a cage. They happen in a street, in a parkade somewhere, so they don't really have an opportunity to sit down in between their rounds. But you look at the Brazilian training techniques again at MMA University. Orestes Bertrand, an accomplished fighter in his own right, getting ready for some more MFC fights coming forward.
So round number 3, third and final 3-minute round here in the amateur ranks. 5-minute rounds later tonight once the pros take the cage. As Robin Combs comes out of the blue corner in the blue trunks, it's black and white trunks out of the red corner for Kris Pomerleau. And again, the striking and the smile just keep coming from Kris Pomerleau.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's, again, doing a better job of keeping her hands up, but needs to bring that hand right back to her chin, because the last thing you want is to dominate first 2 rounds and then just get caught the wrong way. There's so many fighters in the history of this sport that can say, oh, I was dominating them up to the last 10 seconds. I lost concentration and got caught.
Now at this point, Jeremy, if you're Robin Combs, do you try and take the fight to the ground and try and finish with a submission?
Unfortunately, with the amateur rules and with Kris Pomerleau still being appearing so very fresh, I might just try and go for broke here. Taking them down, you can't finish the fight really with head strikes, and trying it for submission. I don't know quite Robin Combs' ability on the ground or Kris Pomerleau's ability to defend on the ground, but anything to try and change up this current structure, getting in behind, maybe rushing forward, something a little more unpredictable. She's proven that she has the chin to be able to rush forward and take a few shots coming in.
Both fighters exchanging punches, but not much damage landing. Biggest one of the round probably belongs to Combs a few moments ago.
And a nice kick there by Combs.
Yeah, nice kick to the midsection as well.
And showing cage control, nice knees to the inner thigh. Those don't feel good, especially the next day. Don't necessarily feel them, but they're training stoppers because you have a bruise on your leg for the next 2 weeks.
So more punches getting through. Combs trying to get wrist control, but unable to do so.
And just being patient with these shots. No need to rush here for Kris Pomerleau. Obviously winning the first 2 rounds and just trying to remain in control. 50 seconds remain on our feature clock. You see that in the bottom right-hand corner. Of course, it is round 3.
Again, Combs around the center of the cage, controlling the cage at this point, but I think Pomerleau, like you said, Jeremy, just content not to take a knockout punch here in the last 30 seconds.
A win is a win, whether it's a knockout or a decision. You never want to leave it in the hands of the judges, but I think if any judge scores this anything other than Kris Pomerleau victory, there's something really wrong.
Less than 10 seconds remaining now, or just about 10 seconds remaining now in round number 3, the third and final round, and Robin Combs going for broke, trying to throw that big last strike and get in there and finish this fight with just a few seconds left. But like you mentioned, Jeremy, it was likely going to be a Kris Pomerleau victory, and that is the end of the third and final round. Kris Pomerleau will be the winner against Robin Combs, who proved that she could take everything that Kris Pomerleau had to give in that fight.
If you look, there's a couple opportunities here, but some great shots landed by Robin Combs throughout that, including a nice big kick to the midsection, a nice shot there that you see on our replay, another jab there that lands. So if every round was like that, it'd be a lot tougher to call. The problem is the first 2 rounds were so clearly dominated by Kris Pomerleau. Looking at Kris Pomerleau, she does share the body type of a lot of the successful female competitors. Very, very tall, very athletic, and this is an opportunity, and this is a very impressive showing that she showed. Didn't find herself in trouble at all during the fight, and we'll hopefully see more from her coming forward in the future. Earlier on, we mentioned there's lots of opportunities in the women's division. It's just a brand new start to the sport, and we've seen even Ronda Rousey, the current Strikeforce champion, was a former Hard Knocks fighter.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the official decision brought to you by Hotel Blackfoot. The winner by unanimous decision in the red corner, Kris the Punisher Pomerleau.
Pomerleau wins her amateur debut, an impressive showing.